about you start off by telling us your name and a little bit about yourself?
So my name is Reyna. I'm 25 and I'm in California right now. Just been working around everywhere, Philippines, Japan, and now America.
Wow, okay. So like, where are you from?
So I'm actually from San Diego, but I spent most of my life in the Philippines.
And when did you start voice acting? Was that like earlier in your life or recently?
Much more recently in terms of an official project. This is actually my first project. Other voiceover projects were probably just small time things.
So this was your first job, but like, are you into like acting at all or like drama or theater?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Really?
Yes. I actually used to take a little bit of acting classes, but I've realized acting is probably not for me, but voice acting, if I could use, if I could get the voices right, yeah,
Right.
like I would love it.
Yeah. Were you ever like starring in like a play or anything that you really liked?
A play? No, just like recitals.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know if like, you were in like Romeo and Juliet or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that in high
totally.
school or
I wish I
What
were
was
at that time.
what was like the biggest obstacle, so to speak, like to get to where you are now? Like was there a point that you kind of like doubted yourself and didn't want to do voice acting anymore?
Oh, that's a great question. I think the doubt really just came from being a beginner and just being intimidated by people who are experienced. But of course, you won't get experience unless you try.
Right.
And here I am.
Was there someone who inspired you or like made you want to start this in the first place?
Actually, yes, there is somebody who's really popular on Nickelodeon. I think her name is Tammy Strong, but she does a lot
Tara.
of voices.
Tara Strong.
Tara
Yeah.
Strong. There, sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
she's fantastic. I never really knew her name, but when I found out that she voiced so many different
Yeah.
characters rather, I thought that was so fascinating. I couldn't believe that came from her. And when she
know,
would,
yeah.
when she would do it when you would do it looking at her, like herself, and making all these voices, it's insane. And that's something I would love to achieve someday.
I remember when I found out that she was Timmy from
Yeah.
what's it called?
Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, yes.
My
I was
favorite,
like,
yes.
Oh my god, I can't believe that. I thought that was a boy.
I know. And then I think she also voiced Tommy from Rugrats.
Wow.
All that stuff. She's great. She's fantastic.
Yeah. Are you like big into video games at all?
Oh yes. Extremely huge into video games actually.
Okay. What are your favorites?
I mostly play like multiplayer games on the computer. Not really like storyline games. Things like Apex Legends, Call of Duty.
Is there like a favorite like movie or book or anything like that that really inspires you?
Book, yes, actually. My favorite book is actually called Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. And I think it's kind of a sad book, but it inspires me because I like the way he writes. I really love the way he writes.
I ask everybody these questions, like nobody has listed a book yet, so it's cool that you actually had a book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, everybody's picked a movie or a game or something, but nobody's picked a book. So, like, how did you, like, moving into, like, where the stars brought us questions, like, how did you, like, find out about it or apply for it?
So I applied for Where the Stars Brought Us through Upwork, actually. The first listing I saw was actually for my character. And when I read the description, I immediately knew I had to apply to it, for sure. Completely. Like, even if they wanted to turn me down, like, my voice wasn't right, that's fine. Like, I loved, like, what was written there, the general setting of the story, and Misa's character in general. Was really something I wanted to do.
Yeah. Are you a big fan of villains and stories?
Yes and no. And it's
Okay.
funny because I actually didn't know she was like a villain. So that was a surprise for me.
Okay. Well, is she your favorite character, or do you have a different favorite character?
Now, I think my favorite character I feel like a lot of people might say this, it would still probably be May.
Really? Okay.
I think she's fascinating. The way she thinks, of course, the way she and Queen Misa speak are very similar, but I don't know, like May, when her guard is down, she's a totally different person.
Right.
And when her guard is up, another completely different person, very terrifying person. So
Actually,
yeah.
nobody's really said her yet.
Really?
For, like, their favorite character, except for Aisha, who plays her. Yeah, no, nobody else has said May yet.
Okay.
So. Do you have a favorite moment, like either with your character or without your character?
Yeah, actually, my favorite moment, not with my character, it was actually just between Rio and May when they went to a festival.
Oh, okay, yeah.
As simple as that. I really loved that moment. Just because like I love Japan. I've lived there, been to festivals. So when I was reading that scene, I could imagine it.
So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that means that you read through the whole script, right? Like even without your parts in them?
Most of it,
Okay.
yeah. To be truthful, not all of it, but like most of it, yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of people didn't read the whole script either, unless it was like Jaden or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
He actually had to.
He needed
But,
to, yes.
yeah, yeah. No, I wanted them to have like a really sweet scene together. You know, when they were just like dancing, and I love scenes like that, like in movies and stuff.
Yes.
And very serious things when there's like a nice little moment of like calm and
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why I liked it so much was it was nice that it was this cutback from, the intensity of trying to find his sister and all those things and
Right.
the confusion with what May is and what is happening. So it was really nice to just kind of and it was May's idea to like bring him there. So I think that's why I
Right,
liked
yeah.
it too. It wasn't Rio who was like, "Come on." It was
Yeah,
her. And I
definitely.
think that was part of like going back to my answer earlier. It kind of ties to that. There's something about May that I really like.
Yeah, it's like almost like she's trying to be two different people at once, and she struggles
Yes.
with being that really tough person all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Was there a scene that was really difficult to act for you?
Oh yes, Demetrius knows. It was actually the last chapter, the fight scenes. The fight scenes were extremely difficult for me,
Yeah.
just because Misa needed to be louder, and it's kind of, at least for me, it was difficult for me to maintain her voice while trying to yell.
Yeah, I think there's a point where she screams something like "you bitch" or something like that. doesn't
Exactly.
she? Yeah.
That was like the funniest one to have to repeat in front of Demetrius alone. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that one she screamed in that one. Yeah, that one was probably one of the hard ones.
Because I don't really think that she would cuss a lot or anything like that. I think that was
Oh
like,
no.
the only time. Yeah.
I think that was I'm almost 100% sure that was the only time she ever cussed.
Yeah. Yeah. So was it just difficult because of like you said, like just like keeping her voice and screaming at the same time, or was it like clipping your mic or?
Oh no, it was all me. It was just like when I would change my voice for Misa, it's a lot softer since she's supposed to be a little more like elegant and
Right.
sophisticated.
Almost seductive, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So it was really tricky trying to make that louder because I couldn't. But
Right.
I did everything I could.
Yeah. I haven't listened to those I haven't actually listened to most of the recordings yet, but that must have been very difficult. And I know it's really difficult to be an actor and what is it called? Like maintain character or staying in character is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's a lot tougher, I think, than people realize because, and actually also harder or more challenging rather than I actually anticipated. Being able to read the lines, have the pacing be the way it needs to be. Sometimes the pacing changes, sometimes it stays the same. The tones, the intonations, even just pronouncing words,
Right.
as Americans, or for me at least, like when I speak, there are some words I unconsciously pronounce a certain way that Misa 100% would not pronounce
Right.
that way.
Right. Yeah, no, I understand. Was there a moment that really resonated with you or that you really connected with? I know you said you liked the moment between May and Rio, but I didn't know if, a favorite moment and like one that
Yeah.
you really feel like in your heart is kind of different to me.
I think the moment would probably be after the fight because, especially, I think it was also bittersweet for me personally since I played Queen Misa. Yeah, when she was defeated, when she finally like disappeared and said goodbye to May and everything,
Right.
it was a lot for me too
Right.
because
Yeah.
I didn't know I was going to vanish. I thought I was supposed to be a loving spirit mother, but apparently I was a villain who got destroyed by my own daughter.
Well, like, what did you think of her ending? Did you think it was fitting for her?
Very fitting.
Oh, okay.
Very fitting.
Yeah.
I mean, she never really, at least the way I saw it, I could be wrong because you're the writer, but I didn't feel like much remorse from her, so I think it was pretty fitting.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think when people ask me, like, I don't know how you intended it, but, you know, everyone interprets things in their own way. So I don't really like to correct people when they say, you know, actually, it's supposed to be this way. Like, if that's how you saw her character, then, I mean, that's how she is, you know?
Yeah, totally.
So I was going to ask you if there was a moment that shocked you, but I guess would it be her ending?
Yeah, that actually is one of it. There was actually another moment, maybe not super surprising or shocking, but I didn't expect when they had found out, like, she was kidnapped or something. So that was one part that was kind of surprising to me. But definitely, like, the biggest shocker was that I had to fight May and that I lost.
If there was, like, a plot point that you could change, like, any plot point, like, either with Misa or without her, which one would it be?
I kind of what had happened to Kuroguro. I wish he hadn't died that quick. I think it was great, but a part of me wished that he could have tried to defend himself before she ended him. I mean, I know he was visibly afraid. He couldn't even speak. He didn't say a thing. But I think that's just one thing. Like, I could have changed. I could have changed. I would have loved to know what he would have tried to say to get Misa to spare his life, and it would not work at all.
Actually, AJ, who plays Kuro, said the same thing, that he, like, the only thing he would change about the story is the way that Kuro died. And I think
really?
Interesting, yeah.
I didn't expect to have the same answers with anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was important that, like, she is still a mother after all of this, and she is still going to protect her daughter, you know, when she's in danger. So even though she's pretty vile, she'll still protect her daughter. So I thought, you know.
I'm actually really glad that scene was in there because, you know, especially like towards the end, you know, Queen Misa is going back and forth. I was just reading it and I was wondering, are you trying to help her or are you trying to not help her?
Right.
Sometimes I don't know. Like she's defensive sometimes, but other times she's not defensive and she's just insulting or, you know, not, you know, just stirs up things. So it was just really interesting to see that moment where she very clearly stood her ground as a mother. It was really nice to see that.
Is there anything in particular about your character that you really like, or is there a trait of hers that connect with or like a lot?
It's kind of hard to say just because, you know, Misa's from a different time.
Right.
And the way and like her intentions were all over the place. But I think the closest thing would be, I could probably connect with, I feel like she felt misunderstood in a way. Like she kind of knew she knew what she was doing. Obviously it wasn't good, but she has her own perception of why she was doing things. And I feel like maybe that's the closest I could resonate with her, is just feeling misunderstood with, although, you know, I don't think it was right.
Right. No, I understand. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that you played her really, really great, and I'm really glad that you were able to play her. And I heard your voice, and I thought you were great for her. And
oh, I appreciate that.
I think you embody her very well. And you know, like you were saying, like she has that very soft but menacing voice, and I think you have that also. And that's, you know, when you have that voice.
I really appreciate that. It was great being a part of this, and I can't wait until the game comes out and I get to really read everything that you put your heart and soul into. I really can't wait.
Thank you. Well, do you have any other like career aspirations? Like, what's like your dream job?
Ooh, that's a fun one. Dream job. I just want to do a lot of things. Just doing a lot of things here and there, but I do think that what I would love to do is definitely something that has to do with an industry similar to this, like movies or games, like voice acting, anything like within that mix, I guess, would be incredibly fun. I used to do like filmmaking when I was younger. It would be fun to get back into that, or, you know, be parts of other films as a voice actor, maybe. That would be pretty fun. Yeah, this was a fantastic experience.
I hope it was for everybody. And is there anybody that you'd like to thank before we end it?
Yeah, I would really like to thank you for writing this beautiful masterpiece. Definitely a huge thank you to Dimitri, as he's been great. And I don't know, like I'm just really, really happy. My heart feels really full right now.
Aw, thank you. I'm really glad. I'm
No,
glad that
truly.
we-
I mean that. I
Yeah.
mean that, really.
Yeah. I'm glad we could have given you that experience, and I've had that experience too, so it's cool that, you know, it's
Yeah.
mutual. And
Definitely. I'm
Very
glad
cool.
we were able to help each other.
for sure, and it was nice to finally talk to you, and I don't think I've spoken to you since the audition.
No, not since the
Yeah.
audition.
So this was nice, and thank you for taking the time to do that.